We are in Rome for the very first time. We just got here this morning on a red-eye flight, and we've just been walking around ever since. I'm now at the hotel. It's about 3 o'clock, and I did take some footage this morning, so I will walk you through what we've done so far. We started at Roma Termini, which is where the express train from the airport drops off, and we just walked. Every time I go to a really old European city like Rome, like Paris, like anywhere basically that has a lot of cathedrals or castles or anything with historical value, with architectural value, I love to just spend so much time there. So for anyone who is not the biggest architecture fan, then skip the next 30 seconds or a minute. We did 3 basically big cathedrals slash churches this morning. We started with, let me check my notes. And I apologize for my pronunciation. I do not speak Italian. I speak English, French, and Spanish. So whatever I say is probably a mix of those pronunciations. But we started with Santa Maria Maggiore. So then we walked to Basilica di San Pietro. It was much older, it was less ornate, but still very beautiful in its own way. And then we went up to Santa Maria degli Angeli, which I'm very unsure about that pronunciation, but it was also another really beautiful cathedral. Again, very unique. Every single cathedral that we've been in so far has its own story and design. And my husband has just pointed out that I have been calling these cathedrals, but actually technically I think they are basilicas. So I'm sorry for anyone who is a basilica cathedral history expert. I am not, obviously. They were all very beautiful, they were all very unique, and it was very interesting to see the differences because after you've visited several very old cathedral slash basilicas, they can start to look very similar, but it's really cool when you walk into one and you feel like there's something very different about the place where you are. After that, we just walked the streets quite a bit. We got lunch, we got pizza. I got a pizza with provolone, which I have been missing. It's very easy to find provolone cheese in the US, not so much in France because it's an Italian cheese, not a French cheese. So I'm gonna be eating as much provolone as possible and as much pizza and as much gelato. So now we're going to do some more walking and I will show you what we get up to. We are back at the hotel after so much walking. We've been up since 4 this morning. So we've come back to the hotel and we're just gonna rest a little bit and maybe go out for dinner, maybe not, we'll see. But I wanted to kind of recap a little bit of everything that we did and saw because I didn't really talk that much about what I was filming. A lot of it was because I was just enjoying. I've never been in Rome before, so I really just wanted to kind of film what I was seeing to remember it, but not necessarily to stop and vlog. But also because some of the streets were very noisy. There was a lot of car traffic and there's a lot of motorbikes, motorcycles, scooters, all of that, which I was kind of expecting because that's the reputation, but it definitely has lived up to it. So some of the highlights of the stuff that we saw and you just saw in the kind of recap was the Pantheon. Obviously, it was a huge experience. It's something that I've wanted to see for a very long time. The architecture itself is not necessarily ornate, but it's very interesting. I really would encourage you to read about the construction and everything. I'm not going to get into the nerdy details, but it's really interesting. Another really big highlight of the day, you will notice that there are cats. There always manage to be cats and dogs in my vlogs. That's like a common thing. They're basically temples that were excavated in the early 1900s. One of them was actually where Julius Caesar was killed. I don't actually know which one it was. I couldn't figure out which one it was, but there are maps where you can actually figure that out. But it's very historical and cool for that aspect, even though there's not a lot to see because it is very much ruins. But what's really interesting now about it is that when they excavated them, feral cats came and started living there. So it kind of became a cat population, and what it eventually turned into was a cat sanctuary. So now you have a place called the Torre Argentina Cat Sanctuary, and you can see all the cats sitting on the ruins. I took so much footage, and you can actually go in and visit the people there. There are cats up for adoption. There are cats with special needs that you can visit, and there's a bunch of stuff that you can buy as well for donations, basically, to donate to the shelter. So of course, I had to get something, which I will show you right now. I'm going to unbox it here. Not really a box because it's actually a bag, but let's see. Okay, so she gave me a little pamphlet. She also put a postcard in here of some of the kitties they have in right now, and I think these are all kitties with special needs. I was going to show you, but she's wrapped it up really nicely and taped it. So actually at the end of this vlog, I will show you because this is something for Hamlet. So I will record myself giving this to Hamlet and you can see what it is. So this morning we got up super early because we had a good recommendation to go to the Vatican very early. So we got there at 9 o'clock. We had tickets for the museums. We explored the museums for so long. Before that, actually, I want to mention this cafe. It's really close to where we're staying. It had good reviews, so we thought, let's just go here. And it turned out to be really nice. It's a really cute little cafe. They were really nice about our bad Italian and spoke English when they could, and I spoke Italian when I could. And then we went to the Vatican, explored quite a bit, and now we have stopped for some takeaway pizza at a place that is really well ranked. I think it's quite touristy. No clue what the pizza's gonna be like. We're gonna try it now. And basically everyone in there was a tourist, so that's what we normally try to avoid, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, and it's quite close to the Vatican, so we're having a takeaway pizza experience. Good morning. It is the last day in Italy today. I really am gonna miss it, and part of me does wish that we had more time, but then the other part of me does also miss my cat and kind of miss Paris in some ways. It's nice to get out of the city, to kind of remember the things that you appreciate about it. This trip has been absolutely fantastic. We have done basically everything that was at the top of our bucket list, I guess, in Rome. There's tons more to do. There's tons of museums, there's tons of places that we didn't get to go and visit, but in terms of the things that we really wanted to do, we managed to accomplish them all. Yesterday, dreams came true and we did the Colosseum. That was something that was probably the top thing that I wanted to do in Rome, the top historical landmark I wanted to see, the top thing I wanted to visit. The Colosseum for me is just one of those things that has fascinated me for years. And even though I never really made a plan on when I wanted to see it by this date or by this year or whatever, it was just one of those things that I just had always dreamed of seeing. And I did yesterday. I saw it, I visited it, I walked around the Roman forums. It was absolutely incredible. The history there, just the centuries of history is fascinating and mind-blowing. And then the fact that there are actually structures that exist even in partial forms at all is just incredible. And often those structures were built on top of something else that was also really important that used to exist there. We ate more pizza. We had kind of a chill afternoon. We're quite exhausted. I am aching everywhere. Like, I can barely walk. Hopefully my muscles will warm up and we'll be able to do a couple of little things this morning. I think the goal is just to get some coffee, to get some pastries, to walk around, maybe to get a couple of little gifts for people. I'd like to get some postcards. You guys know I like to get little postcards from every place I visit, just for me, just to have. So that's kind of the plan for this morning, and then this afternoon we have the flight and it's back to Paris. And we are now back in Paris after a delayed flight and a delayed early bus and so many delays, but we made it back eventually. And Hamlet is already checking out his present. As promised, I told you guys I would show you what I got at the cat sanctuary in Rome. So I have just cleaned it up so I can give it to Hamlet, but this is the little bowl. It says Largo di Torre Argentina, which is the cat sanctuary, and I am going to go ahead and test it out with Hamlet with a few treats because he already got his dinner when we got home because we got home kind of late. So I'm gonna wrap up the vlog here. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching my Rome trip. I didn't film everything, obviously. On this trip particularly, I really tried to just strike that balance between filming and showing you guys some of the highlights of my trip to Rome, but also kind of just checking out and enjoying. Yesterday afternoon, for example, I barely filmed anything, and then my husband and I went on a kind of date night to a place called Osteria Costanza. I think it was Costanza. I will put it on the screen here so you can see. It was a really nice place, really nice restaurant. We had some fantastic Italian wine, a nice bottle of red, as well as first and second courses. It was really nice. I guess I should say a starter and a first course because the second course was all meat, but the first course, some great pastas and risottos and stuff. It was really good. All in all, the food was amazing on this trip. I will definitely be posting on Instagram some of the stuff. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this vlog, and I will talk to you very soon in another one.